G'day and welcome. If you're here for the first time, I'm glad you clicked on the video. I hope you like it. If you're here again, thanks for coming back. This will be part number 5 in my equipment videos, and this one will be about safety and navigation. Now, you might notice the sound quality is a bit better on this video. That's because I've purchased a Rode Wireless Go system, although you probably still hear a lot of traffic noise in the background. I'll try and get rid of some of that when I edit. So where do I start with navigation? I suppose everybody knows how to use a compass, but knowing how to use a map and a compass together is another thing. Now, I have a selection of topographical maps for the area, although not exactly the one I want. I've got a few missing from the grid. But yeah, always good to have a paper map. My last trip I actually had one specifically for that national park walk, which is floating around here somewhere. And what I also did was enlarge and photocopy sections of it so I could have that section in my pocket on the day. So that's not a bad idea to do either. But yeah, map and compass. Yeah, everybody's got their choices in compass, preferences. This is a new one. I haven't given this much of a go yet, but it's a Atka brand. I'd like to get a Sunto or something like that later on. But anyway, we'll see how this one goes. Also for navigation, there's an app that was, it's used by a guy I follow on YouTube called Eric Off Track, Aussie bloke, and it's an app called Backcountry Navigator, and you go online when you're in range, and you download the section of the map that you want. You basically draw a square around the bit you want. You can overlap them, and it stores it for you, and then you can be out of phone range and still navigate on that. Still have map and compass and fixed position on that, because if something goes wrong with the phone, well, at least you've got that to fall back on. And still on navigation, this is an old GPS I used to take out in my kayak. It's waterproof, no maps on it. It's just a breadcrumb trail, so that assuming you haven't got too much tree cover, you can follow your breadcrumb trail back to where you started, or at least find a clearing and pinpoint yourself on the map. So if you get lost, at least you can hopefully find your way back home again. Excuse me. Okay, also in safety, I know I covered these in a previous video, but I'm going to talk about lighting again, because I mean, if you're out in the dark somewhere, things didn't go according to plan, and you're running a bit late getting to your chosen campsite, you've got to have good lighting. Now, I've got the hand torch and headlamp, which can also be disattached and used as a hand torch. These are an Australian brand, Olight, really bright. I find this one, if you have it on full brightness though, you can't hang on to it for too long. It does generate quite a bit of heat. Okay, things get drastic, you hurt, you can't, you're on your own, call in the cavalry. There's a satellite distress beacon. The bigger ones they have on boats are called an EPIRB. The smaller ones in Australia here, I don't know if they call them that overseas, but in Australia here they call this a personal locator beacon. Now, the only difference between this and the ones on the boats, the one on the boat is larger, has a bigger battery, and once activated you get 72 hours out of it. These are 24 hours once activated. That's something you hope you never have to use. I did think about, instead of this, getting the Garmin InReach, because it also has a distress beacon built in, but you can also tie that in with your phone and send text messages. But I believe there's a monthly fee with that one, so I didn't get that. You also get this little mirror, needs a clean, comes with it. So if help does come, hopefully you can reflect a bit of light. But I've also got things that are good for getting attention. I've got a couple of orange bandanas. I haven't brought them downstairs with me, but even the cheap waterproof bags that I bought, I've specifically chose orange, so you've got something you can wave about and get attention with. This has got my first aid in it, but this morning I went and bought a better quality one in red, so I'm going to transfer all my first aid into that. Yeah, because last time I was out, some of my gear got wet. I'll just have a little talk about what I've got in the first aid. There's a couple of 10cm dressings. Elastic bandage, the wrapping on that was hopeless, so that's gone. That's just a little tin with toothpicks and cotton buds to clean my ears. These are a snake bite bandage. The only difference between that and an ordinary elastic bandage is these have little rectangles on them. When you stretch the bandage to the point where the rectangle becomes a square, you know you have the right amount of tension and you're not going to wrap up the limb too tightly. These are fabulous little thing. These are Hydrolyte. They are a electrolyte or orange effervescent electrolyte tablets. There's 20 in there. You throw 2 in a cup of water, and really good in the summer when you're dehydrating a lot to replace your electrolytes. Plus I get a lot of headaches, especially if I get dehydrated. I get them very easily. So these are a must for me. So they're a bit of a health and well-being item. The other thing I added, my first aid kit, I actually just bought one of those cheap ones off the internet and added things to it. Some saline bottles. Give your eye a flush out if you get something in your eye. Antibacterial wipes. And the first aid kit itself. Now, I might just bring you a bit closer for this one. Oh, stink bug, go away. Now, let's see if we can drop this down a bit. Yeah, that might be a bit better. Sorry about the shadows. Maybe I'll move the other way and get out of my own light. How's that? That's better. Except I've got the sun on my face now. So anyway, this is just a little one off eBay, Livingston hiking kit. Now, if there's something I can't take care of with what I've got, then I'm probably going to be in more serious trouble and need to activate the emergency beacon. But what I've got should cover most things. So yeah, this one has that little fold-out section. They come with a few Band-Aids, but I've thrown 2 whole packets of Band-Aids in, a couple of different types, and there's about 20 small alcohol swabs in there. Get the little metal splinter picks. I hope that's staying in focus. Oh, by the way, I'm using the new camera for the first time with the Rode Wireless Go microphone system. This came with one of those little thermal shock blankets. I've actually got one of those in another pouch somewhere. Rubber gloves. I also carry anti-inflammatories and antihistamines. Okay, I think that was meant to go in there. Oh, where it was. Scissors, tweezers. I've got terrible sinus problems, so I like these Vicks inhalers to clear my nose a little bit sometimes. These are the, see if it'll focus on that, liquid skin. Kind of like a super glue, I guess, but a lot of people don't realise super glue was, I believe, was first invented as a battlefield dressing for stitching skin together. This is like just to cover a mild wound, little scrape or something like that. Now in this zip up section, some more dressings. There's a couple of small gauze dressings. Another crepe bandage. These are the white gauze bandages. They came with it. I also threw in a roll. You get this stuff with it. This what do you call it? Hypoallergenic paper tape. But I threw one of these in. This is that elastoplast. It's more like a cloth. It's a lot better. It stays on when it's wet. A little packet of paracetamol. I think that's about it. Now, let's move you back again. Oh, that's a bit close. So that's pretty much it for this video. Not too long, hope it wasn't too boring for you. There'll only be one more video on my equipment, and as I've said before, I've broken it up into small videos because it would have been too much just to cover absolutely everything. Now, the last video will be miscellaneous stuff that I haven't covered or may not have covered in the other videos. Some items you'll notice I've covered more than once because they pertain to different things, like as I said, the I don't know, something I mentioned before. I've got brain fade. Anyway, that'll do for this one. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Please come back and watch more. That'd be great. I'd really appreciate it. So that'll do. Have a good day. Bye.